All right. Welcome to Let Me Talk to My Customer. I am your host, Chad Counts, along with my co-host, Richard Tyler. Rich, how you doing this morning, sir?
Doing great, doing great. How are you, man?
I can't complain, can't complain. We're a little bit overcast out here, but at least the heat has settled in California. Our Indian summer is done, and we're now, I think, moving into fall and winter here. The kids are getting excited for Halloween. Hard to believe we are almost there as 2020 both drags on and hurdles out of control at the same time. So
Speed of
uh,
light, like a turtle.
we're just living in a whole bunch of ironies and craziness and all sorts of things that we didn't think could coexist.
Right.
But sales are going well still. We continue to see in the market that it's still a great time to be an auto recycler. It's still a great time to be a salesperson in our industry. We are continuing to do training on our front. We're filling up, have just a few handful of spots left, and we are global. We are multinational in our training efforts these days. It keeps us very busy end to end. So we're coming to you on Tuesday this week, as we're in the thick of meeting schedules and things like that on our end too. I'm sure you all have no shortage of things going on your end too. Be on the lookout. We've got the Midwest Runner training coming up the first Saturday of November. I believe that's November 7th. It's going to be 2 hours. So any of you who are Midwest Runner companies, you are welcome to have your salespeople there for free. Contact Josh at Midwest Runner or myself at crcounts at countsbusinessconsulting.com. And then later in November, we're going to be doing our presentation for the virtual ARA conference, which we were very much looking forward to as well. So as always, thank you for joining us here on the podcast. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel to get notifications when we go live. That way, when we're sporadically on a Tuesday like we are today, you can have the chance to catch it earlier in the week than others do. And otherwise, you can find us on Spotify, iTunes, our website, countsbusinessconsulting.com also hosts the podcast as well. And we post our content every week on Facebook and LinkedIn. So no shortage of ways for you to find and interact with us. And as always, we love your feedback. However we hear from you, wherever you're at in the world, if there's anything that we can do better or any ways we've benefited you, we'd love to hear about it. So thank you again for joining us. This week, we're going to be talking about valuing our customers over the sale, the priority and the value of not being so solely focused on individual transactions, but the value of customers as an entity and valuing that relationship and prioritizing that. So we're going to take a look at that lens, both from a retail perspective as well as a wholesale perspective. We're going to start with retail this morning. I think eBay has continued to be a breakthrough area for many auto recyclers around the globe. And not every country has eBay, obviously, but every company has some form of e-commerce. And one of the things that I think eBay has brought to mind for those who have been successful at it is how to classify retail customers all into one group. To see the value of retail customers as a collective as opposed to an individual. Rich, when you're working with salespeople and you're talking about retail interactions or you come across retail phone calls and retail interactions, is there a sense that they are excited about that, or does it tend to be more of a negative, I don't really want to deal with retail?
Sure. So I think new salespeople a lot of times are the ones that get channeled the retail customers. So in that instance, they're happy to deal with them a lot of the times. I think with the more veteran salespeople, they absolutely can fall into the trap of seeing the retail customer as a one-off sale that may not necessarily even be worth their time on the phone.
Yeah, okay. So that's what I think I see most often as a sentiment of this isn't the best use of my time. They don't know what they want or what they're looking for, yada, yada, yada. There's a whole host of negative perceptions, I feel like, when it comes to this category.
For sure.
And that said, I think that's greatly overlooking a huge potential customer base. There are so many benefits to retail customers. One of which is they are far more likely to purchase that part on the first interaction. They don't necessarily need to consult with somebody after the fact, as much as our wholesale customers like to indicate that they need to speak with somebody else. Our retail customers are more willing to deal with um, lesser quality parts, so maybe our higher miles or a little bit of damage on our components.
Mhm.
And they're more likely to pay upfront, pay now, pay cash. And that said, I think in our context today and talking about valuing the customer over the transaction, it's more helpful to view retail as a singular category in the same way that eBay is best viewed that way. I remember as eBay was first coming up in our sector, there were a lot of complaints about, oh, the returns and some of the, there are some great stories that come with what retail or eBay customers are trying to pull off, whether it's swaps or claiming they didn't know what they were. I mean, there's a great bit of stories and frustrations that come with that.
Sure.
But that said, when you look at a customer base that at many companies is 100,000 a month as a customer sector, that's strong, right? That's what, why ignore that?
Yeah.
And if you are a professional salesperson, if it's not like it takes a tremendously different skill set. It just takes a proper mentality and attitude. And if you practice good service, if you practice um, really all the traits that we talk about on this show, retail would be no problem for you, right? You educate your customer, you provide value for your customer, and you sell your customer and you serve your customer. Um, I think that retail tends to be the biggest source of our online reviews and ratings. And so that's another side to just like eBay. We're always trying to keep our seller rating up. And I think more and more these days, as consumers are looking for who they're going to deal with, if they're searching and finding your product online, they want to see that you're a reputable company. What are other customers saying? And I think many salvage yards, even really good full service salvage yards, big into trade groups and other things like that, oftentimes have horrible reviews. They don't solicit good feedback or they don't prioritize serving their retail customers.
Mhm.
Um, Many
So just to
salespeople,
reinforce,
yeah,
just to reinforce the idea here. So you're saying that salespeople should, instead of thinking about the retail customer as a one-off sale, more that they belong to a group, retail customers,
yeah,
that group is in fact a repeat customer.
absolutely. And they're a powerful block, right?
Right.
They're going to issue referrals, that they would talk to other people. They're going to be more likely to post negative reviews if there is anything. So I think pursuing them, making sure that things are going well for them, and even you could put on your invoice terms and your sheet at the bottom, hey, post a review. I think companies miss the boat sometimes. They don't provide any incentive to say, hey, if you have a good experience, post a positive review, 10% off on your next purchase item, up to whatever. Um, I think there's a lot to go after there, and I've seen other companies that have somewhat pivoted. I don't know if pivot's the fully the right word to describe it, but they've made retail a priority. Instead of being snobbish towards retail, they've prioritized. They've wanted their sales efforts and the feel of what they're doing to be of an expectation that fits what retail customers would get at an AutoZone or Napa or something like that, right? They order a part, they get an email when it's on its way. They get an email when it's ready to be picked up. Trying to mimic that, oh, please call ahead, emphasizing an app or emphasizing online, emphasizing ease, right? I mean, you can come in person to order a part, but I'd much rather you order it in advance. That way you're spending less time waiting. It's a better experience for you. It's a better experience for us. So I think that's shocking to me how much that gets overlooked. And more often than not, when we have salespeople, they're kind of middle of the road or struggling or not fully developed. They want to duck problems. They want to run from problems, right? They want to pretend that this credit doesn't need to be dealt with or this person doesn't need to be called back. I would bet retail is a big source of that. They don't necessarily mind dealing with problems when it's their wholesale customers, but they will often try and duck or run away from retail customers. Would you say that's a fair assessment?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So why? We'll just go back to the beginning. Why try and be good in one area and bad in another, right? Or accept that that's, why practice two different skill sets? Serve them well, serve them diligently. And if anything, as a salesperson, you can be more forceful with retail. Once you've clarified their needs and what they want, go for that order, push for that sale, make it worth your while, make it worth your time.
I'm telling salespeople every day, I'm looking through salespeople's quotes and I'm seeing quotes for $150. I'm seeing quotes for $175. I'm like, these are small dollar deals from retail customers. We should be making a big push to get these closed. That you're talking to the person who makes the decision on the phone in that moment.
Yeah, and $150, $200 is a normal retail sale. People aren't going to drag their feet. They find what they're looking for and they want it. Why do they need to? What are they cajoling over? $15, $5, something like that. Let's get it done. Let's figure out where we need to be. Okay, so prioritizing customers over the sale. That's one mentality with retail there. Let's take a look at our wholesale salespeople that are on the more experienced end. Where do you see benefits, Rich, with our more seasoned veteran sales? Go ahead, I can hear you.
No, okay, you cut out there. Will you say that last part? You were asking about what it is I see with veteran salespeople in regards to wholesale customers and what now?
How they use that customer relationship to their benefit. How the prioritizing the customer over the sale, how they use that to their advantage.
Gosh, there's a lot, for the wholesale customers that are, for the veterans that are successful, that are growing constantly. Obviously, that's a base of customers that they're cultivating always. Like that's an always, growing base of who they deal with. I know that a lot of times, one of the areas that it is I try and make sure that veteran salespeople improve on is if they have a relationship with somebody that they've known for years, to use that relationship to their advantage in getting their customer to tell them explicitly what it is that they want.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they benefit from being more direct, right? They don't have to cover, if they've covered it well, their warranty preferences, mileage preferences, are they open to reman aftermarket? If they know their customer well, they can shortcut a lot of steps, right? So the average phone call, probably for an experienced salesperson, can be 30 seconds less or so. I mean, they don't have to do as much legwork. Now, they can also be complacent and this is a repeat customer, but they've never really cultivated those understandings. But instead, they just use that familiarity as an excuse to not cover important details to the customer. So I think other benefits as well is potentially there's already been that built-in trust. So maybe I can move this customer to my cell phone or to my email. There's a history here where they know me, I've proven myself. Customers calling me, they're not checking with their customer, they're calling to place their order, right? They don't price shop as much. I've proven what I'm worth, that I'm saving them time and they're saving me time in this relationship. And that's how they're able to benefit. That being said, so we work with experienced salespeople, with those who are developing, right? Not necessarily our greenies that are stuck with retail calls, but those who are getting wholesale calls and starting out, but not really having any repeat business. What aspects of the customer should they emphasize to try and develop more of a repeat relationship?
Well, they should probably be working on their just sense of inquisitiveness. They should be inquiring if you have a customer on the line that's calling on any part that you want them to buy from you again, then I would tell that salesperson you should be asking them about their shop. Like, how many of these type of jobs are they doing in a month? How many bays do they have? That kind of sense of trying to find out more about who your customer is in a larger sense to be able to understand how you might be able to serve them.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I think if anything, gauging what your potential is with the customer is a great way to maybe motivate yourself if that's something you struggle with. Of hey, I want to go after this relationship. I think the other thing is newer salespeople don't realize how much telling a customer no or not offering them anything hurts them. How can you build or be expected to build a repeat relationship if you're not consistently offering a solution to your customer? If you're constantly negatively suggesting solutions, oh, this one's really expensive, or well, I don't have it in stock, I could order it. If all of your offerings come across with a negative caveat, what are you building? You're giving your customers all these reasons of why not to call you back or why not to order this part right now.
And we
So
hear it all the time. The thing is salespeople don't realize that's what they're doing. I hear it all the time. They say things like, well, by the time we got it in here and I'd have to put on freight and, it just,
yeah. So I don't want to take care of you today is basically what your customer is hearing.
yeah.
If you want them to be repeat, you need to prioritize giving them the best solution you can, and you can be candid in that. Where do you have to be? What are you looking for? Oh man, well, okay. The best I'm going to be able to do is right here today, but also making those extra efforts and realizing that hey, this is a 4-bay shop. This is somebody I want to see whatever I can do to try and get this business. And maybe I push even talking to my sales manager, my owner, say, hey, I haven't gotten business from this person before. I can get this order done if I'm willing to, if I can get down on this part for $50 or $25, right? I just want to get something in the door, show them what we're capable of, what we can produce, and go from there. I think another aspect that's overlooked, this can often be on a on experience or developing side as a salesperson, is on these larger facilities, ones that have multiple repair bays or even multiple locations. If you're a capable salesperson and you have earned repeat business from one of these service riders or somebody that's ordering parts, how often do you ask for referrals? Or how many of them refer other people, even at their own company, to you? I think you're missing tremendous opportunity there. Oftentimes we go with that question of what else are you working on? I think the other thing we can consider there is, hey, do you guys have anybody else that's ordering parts at your facility? Okay. Do you know who they buy from? Would they be open to calling me as well? Okay,
And
great.
let me add something there. I know really good salespeople that follow up with larger orders a couple of days after the deal's been done, maybe 4 or 5 business days after. Hey, I was just calling to see, hey, how did that engine work out? Oh, good. Right. But then the extra step is, hey, since this transaction went so well, is there anybody else at your facility? That's one that gets missed a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's always easier to sell to people you already are doing business with. And so if you look at that, that goes the same for that company is already set up on a charge account. All those other things are already good there. You're just trying to multiply out your opportunity. Your truck's already going there. All the benefits are built in. And so that's some of the benefits of being customer focused instead of transaction focused. There's a lot of potential here. And hopefully prioritizing the customer, not just in that initial experience, but in the follow-up, in the service, taking care of them. I hope that makes prioritizing solving issues or solving challenges in those relationships more important too, because I think that's the other side of it. You're not just solving a problem for this one order, you're solving a problem for this relationship so that it can continue to grow and extend in the future. Okay. So Rich, anything else that comes to mind for you this week in terms of prioritizing our customers and things we should emphasize there?
No, this week so far, I've been working with a lot of newbies, a lot of people that have like maybe a couple years experience. And so I think a lot of this stuff that we said is great for somebody who may have only been doing this for a couple of years. I mean, this is like really good stuff that I want those kind of growing salespeople to be thinking about.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think our salespeople often assume that customers know everything that we do. If on the off chance your company has the opportunity to add aftermarket suppliers or remanufacture, don't assume that your customer knows everything that you have available to you. It's always a good idea to say, hey, I didn't know if you know this, but we're also doing this now or doing that now. Even if you make warranty changes or anything like that. If you're concerned with the customer and you want them to see value, if your company is doing something to add value to them, it's part of our duty as salespeople to be the mouthpiece and make sure our customers know that as well, and not just assuming that they know everything about our company the way we do. Okay, so that's the same on our end. Anytime doing new services, anytime we're offering new trainings or something like that, it's incumbent on us to market that, advertise that, and communicate that well with our customers. So thank you for joining us this week. Again, be on the lookout for our Midwest Runner training that we have coming up the first Saturday of November and our ARA presentation at the virtual conference. Please register for that and join us on that virtual conference at ARA. You're not going to want to miss it. And if you're not done so already, please subscribe or follow along with us, whether that be on our YouTube video podcast stream or on Spotify, iTunes, any of those podcast platforms as well. And of course, we hope you like our Facebook page and join us there for any future announcements. Counts Business Consulting on Facebook, countsbusinessconsulting.com. For Rich, I am Chad. Thanks for joining us this week, and we hope to catch you guys soon. Thank you.